Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating historical puzzle. It's this incredible intersection of faith, empire, and a very, very strange 40-year silence in the ancient world. It's a theory some people call the Jonah Effect. Okay, let's just jump right in. Imagine the most terrifying, most dominant military power of its day, an empire that just steamrolled anyone who got in its way. Now, what if I told you that one day that empire just stopped, cold? And I'm not making this up. This is in the historical record. For nearly 4 decades, the unstoppable Assyrian war machine just completely ground to a halt. Historians know that it happened, but why it happened? Well, that's one of history's great mysteries. And we're about to explore a wild theory that connects this whole thing to a story you've definitely heard before. To really get how strange this was, you first have to understand who the Neo-Assyrians were. I mean, these guys weren't just a powerful kingdom, they were the definition of power in the ancient Near East. So just take a look at this timeline. For decades, you've got these kings like Shalmaneser III just relentlessly pushing west. By the time you get to Adad-Nirari III, Assyria is the undisputed heavyweight champion, dominating everybody from modern-day Iraq all the way to the Mediterranean. If you were a kingdom like Israel or Judah, your choices were pretty simple. Pay them a ton of money or get crushed. So yeah, there's absolutely no question about it. For decades, Assyria was on this incredible, unstoppable roll. Their momentum, it just seemed like nothing could break it. And then, this happens. The year is 783 BC. Their last really strong king dies, and the whole imperial engine just sputters out. The expansion stops, the conquests stop, and the big question is, why? Well, to explore one of the most compelling and controversial theories, we have to turn away from the Assyrian records for a minute and look at a totally different ancient book, the biblical Book of Jonah. You know the story, right? A prophet named Jonah gets this call to go to Nineveh, the capital, the very heart of the scary Assyrian Empire, and tell them they're doomed. Jonah, of course, wants absolutely nothing to do with it, so he runs away, gets on a boat, you know the rest. There's a storm, he gets tossed overboard, swallowed by a giant fish, has a change of heart, and finally goes to Nineveh. He preaches this simple message: 40 more days and Nineveh will be overthrown. And then the most unbelievable thing happens. They actually listen. The whole city, from the king to the lowest servant, repents. And the city is spared. Okay, so we've got a historical mystery on one side and this epic biblical account on the other. Now let's see what happens when we lay them on top of each other. This, my friends, is where it gets really, really interesting. I want you to lock this number in your brain. 40. Jonah warned of destruction in 40 days. And for almost exactly 40 years, the Assyrian Empire fell into this period of total weakness. Coincidence? Now, check this out. It's not just what was happening inside Assyria that's so fascinating. It's what was happening right next door. During the exact same time that Assyria is falling apart with weak kings, revolts, and plagues, its old victims, Israel and Judah, are having a golden age. I mean, with the big bully off their backs, Israel expands its borders to their largest size since King Solomon. It was like a seesaw. As Assyria went down, its neighbors shot right up. And this just lays it out so clearly. You can see the reigns of those 3 weak Assyrian kings, Shalmaneser IV, Ashur-dan III, Ashur-nirari V. Now look at how their time on the throne lines up almost perfectly with that long, prosperous reign of Jeroboam II in Israel. This isn't just a few years overlapping. We're talking about a multi-decade alignment. It's uncanny. So this truly remarkable timeline has led some historians and theologians to put a name on it, a theory to explain this whole strange period, and they call it the Jonah Effect. So what is the Jonah Effect exactly? Well, the theory goes like this. The massive nationwide repentance described in the Bible wasn't just a fleeting spiritual moment. Nope. The idea is that it had real, lasting geopolitical consequences. It essentially sent the empire into an identity crisis, a kind of internal collapse of authority that just completely neutralized its aggression for an entire generation. And here's the thing. We have actual historical evidence for this Assyrian obscure period. We know royal power just fell apart. It got so bad that powerful generals were putting their own names on buildings, which was a huge no-no. Assyrian records from the time confirm there were plagues and revolts in major cities. They even noted a total solar eclipse in 763 BC, which in the ancient world was basically seen as a giant flashing sign from the gods that they were not happy. Their military? It wasn't conquering anyone, it was just trying to play defense. But you know how these things go. A period of weakness like that couldn't last forever. That 40-year window of peace for Assyria's neighbors, well, it was about to get slammed shut. And in 745 BC, just as suddenly as it all started, it ended. All it took was one man to change everything. A new guy, a powerful military leader named Tiglath-Pileser III, grabs the throne, and he does not mess around. He immediately reorganizes the entire empire, crushes anyone who opposes him, and fires up that war machine again. And within about 20 years, that same northern kingdom of Israel that had enjoyed a golden age was completely wiped off the map by the new, improved, and very angry Assyrian Empire. The 40-year break was officially over. Which leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? Was this 40-year lull just a fluke? A random bit of history where you had some weak kings, some internal problems, a few plagues, and just plain bad luck? Or was it something more? Is it possible this is a historical echo of a city that actually repented? A moment where a prophet's message didn't just save a city, but literally changed the destiny of the entire ancient world? What do you think?